Hello and welcome to the part 2 of the Make.com Basics series. So today we'll be talking about how to integrate Airtable with Make.com. Let's now learn how to create Airtable buttons, and those buttons will trigger automations. I will also demonstrate record keeping and data transfer using HTTP modules and webhooks. So we are now carrying on from part 1. In part 1, you saw this scenario and you saw this scenario. This is the basics. Now, we have added on to those scenarios and we have a few little extra modules added in. So this was the original HTTP module and now this is the updated one. This was the original webhook scenario and this is the updated one, as you can see. Okay, so this is ideal for anyone looking to build smart connected systems with Airtable as a centralized hub. Airtable is a flexible database platform that supports custom workflows. I love using Airtable. I actually think it's a lot better than Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. So it would be good to get familiar with Airtable. So this is just some of the record keeping and automation basics that you can do with Airtable that I'm about to show you. So automating Airtable unlocks a centralized data management system. It also unlocks real-time operational triggers, seamless integration with external tools, and so there's a lot actually that you can do, and these are just the basics. There's so many different things that you can do in Airtable, but let's just carry on and do the basics. Before I start, I am a certified advanced Make.com developer, and if you want to see something more complex and more complicated, I have a link to my portfolio which has a 30-minute video describing my AI engine, which is ginormous, that I have created in Make.com. You can have a look at that if you're interested. So let's now get into the nitty and gritty stuff. Right, so now here we have a webhook. Okay, here we have webhooks as well. So let's just have a look at where this all begins. This was one that I did earlier on. Just delete that, okay? You don't need that right now. So I'll wait for that to load. It's taking a bit of time, to be honest. I don't know why. I'll just refresh that. I think it's my internet connection. I'm on Starlink right now, so I'm testing out Starlink. So I have created a button. This button triggers this webhook over here. Now, what I want to do is I want to copy this, just like that, and to create a field, I just add the field, and I want to click the button option. Okay. Here you can put a name for the field. I just put click. Now, here is where we will add the webhook, just where I've got highlighted, and then there has to be a question mark, record ID with a capital I equals, and then a closing quotation mark. Okay. And then the code is and record ID. This and record ID part here, that's just the code and for Airtable to trigger it to send this record ID here back to this webhook. Okay, so that we know which row I've clicked the button in. Okay, very simple. So now, once you've actually set this up, you can click a color, have a little name. Okay, you also have to set the setting here to open URL. There we go, you've created your button. Save that, you'll have a button here. Okay. Now, all you have to do is click this button and it will activate this and it will send the record ID through to here, as you can see. This code here, you should copy this code and just copy and paste what I have here and select the webhook response module. This sends a response back to this webhook and back to the trigger here. Okay, and that just closes the tab that it's opened up. Okay, let's just click this right now and just let me demonstrate what I'm actually talking about, otherwise it probably won't make too much sense. So let me just click this. Okay, so as you can see, there was another tab that opened up and then it closed. That's what this does here. Okay, So if I was to remove that, the tab would stay open. I mean, I can demonstrate that for you if you don't fully understand. Let me just unlink this, unlink that, move that over here, okay, move that here, okay. And let me just show you what I mean. See, now the link will just stay open and it won't close. So that's all that really does. And as you can see, we've got the data here, and I'll show you how this data runs through the scenarios. Okay, let me just refresh this because I want to go back to the way it was. Okay, so now we have it back to the way it was. This, it's good to do it between 10 and 20 seconds, I would say. This just delays the scenario, so it puts everything to sleep. And it does. I do this because sometimes it takes a bit of time for the webhooks to process and come through. So we just add a little sleep module here just to delay the scenario, so everything has come through okay. So if there was any delays, it would have already passed. Because if it was instant, the information may have not processed and been delivered. Okay, so we just put it to sleep here. It's good practice to do that after webhooks. Then, as you can see here, okay, so this is the record ID that I was talking about. This here is the record ID that was just sent. See, we can tell by the last three characters what record it was. So 31Q. Okay. So, okay, this must have been an older one. So that was just an older one that I did, I guess, before. But if I run it once, let me just run it again, just to do it as an example. This is XB7. Okay. All right, we've got to wait 10 seconds. I'll just pause it because actually that's quite quick. 10 seconds actually. I didn't need to pause that. Okay, XB7. See, so send that record ID through here. Okay. XB7. Okay, taking a bit of time. It's because it's going through the other scenario, that's why. See, there we go, it's appeared nicely. Okay. So, now we're going to send, so back to part one. This is what we talked about in part one, how to send information to another scenario. Here, we're just sending all John's information, his gender, his position, the date of the application, and the results, okay, and the record ID that we have just retrieved. We need that for the record keeping if we want to post in the same row and keep a record, okay? And then we've got his CV that has just come through, that we've just written in here, okay? Now, so that obviously sends it to this webhook, which is this scenario, which is this webhook, okay? So actually, let me just demonstrate. So this is the one that we just did just now, XB7, that was the record ID, so it should have sent it through. Let's just have a look. Record XB7, here we go. So it sent all that information, okay, so we've got the CV as well. All that information was sent through perfectly, okay. Now, we put it to sleep again, 10 seconds. Let's go back to the diagram. Okay. So this just sets the variables. It's not actually really needed, but I've just done it just to make things a bit more clear, but you don't really need that. You can just map it out straight from the webhook module. You don't need to set any variables. So here we're just generating an image as well, okay? So let's say there was an image. This is just an example, of just transferring data. This doesn't really mean much. I'm not teaching you about how to generate images, but I've just generated an image to show you how to store images. Next, here we have the Airtable table that we have. Just refresh this because I changed the names of the tables and bases. Okay, so here we have this table here. So all we have to do is select the table, which is YouTube video, webhook plus HTTP, okay, and then it will come up with all the fields that are in that table. And then we just map it out, all the sections here. So we put the CV. We don't have to do it from the variable. We could just do it straight from the webhook if we wanted to, okay, as I said before. So date of application, okay, just like that. Position, So when you're storing it, you just use the URL. You just put the URL of the image in here, and it will store it in the Airtable. Okay, now we're keeping a record of things, images, name, when we have the record ID. Now see, this record ID is the same record ID that we sent when we clicked the trigger button. Okay, so this is this record ID here. Okay, now, so that's how you transfer data across. Just make sure we save that. Okay, just to make a field in here, it's pretty easy. It's really, really simple. Just click here, create a field. I mean, I can do it in this one as well. Now here I have record ID. How do I create this column? I'll teach you that as well. So to create that, we just need to go to formula. This field is going to be a formula, rec ID, okay? And then in the formula, we just type in rec, and it should come up with this option here. We just click that. And then we just add the other bracket in here, and that should initiate the record ID. Okay. So there we go. We also have the record ID here and here. So that's all I've done for here. Okay. Just done that same thing there, as you can see. So if you were wondering how to do that, that's how you do that. And this is how you store data, and this is how you create buttons and transfer information across from one webhook to another. Okay. It's very interesting, I would say. So I'm really happy that you've watched it to the end of this video, and you've made it to the end of this video. I hope you have learnt a lot, and thank you. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.